to say something that's going to make you pretty uncomfortable. And I need you to sit in that discomfort because it might be the most important thing that anyone ever has to tell you. You don't want it bad enough. You say you do. You tell me you want to retire your spouse. You want to provide for your kids in a way nobody provided for you. You want to build a team. You want to create jobs, change lives. You want to finally build the thing you've been dreaming about for years. And I believe that you want it, but wanting it and wanting it bad enough are two completely different things. And the gap between those two is exactly where your dreams go to die. Because here's what I have watched happen to people over and over. People say all the right things. They describe the life they want in vivid detail. And then the exact moment it's time to do the hard thing, the moment it's time to put their money where their mouth is, to take the real risk, to bet on themselves, they crumble every single time. And then they wonder 5 years later why they're stuck in the exact same spot. So in this video, I'm going to break down why wanting it is a lie you tell yourself. The real reason you're stuck that has nothing to do with your skills, and a scene from one of my favorite movies that will completely change the way that you look at your safety net. So stick with me to the end because that scene is the whole point. Let's get into it. Let us start with the uncomfortable truth. Almost everybody says that they want to be successful. Talk to anyone, and they're gonna tell you they want more money, more freedom, more impact, a better life for the people that they love. It's literally the most common thing that a human being will say, and yet look around you. Look at how few people actually get there. If everyone wanted it, everybody would have it. So there has to be something else that's going on. There has to be a difference between the people who say it and the tiny fraction who actually do it. And here's the difference. I want you to really listen and hear this. Most people do not want success. They want comfort. And they have convinced themselves that those two things are the same. They're not. They're opposites, quite frankly. Most of you don't want it more than you want a good night's sleep. You don't want it more than you want your weekends. You don't want it more than you want to avoid the fear of looking stupid or the terror of betting your own money on yourself and being wrong. You want it, sure, but you want to stay comfortable more. And that's the whole problem, because comfort and greatness cannot live in the same house. I learned this the hard way in the worst period of my life. See, there was a stretch where I was overdrawn in my bank account. No clients, nobody knew my name. I'd wake up at 4 a.m. with tears in my eyes, absolutely terrified, having no idea how I was going to make it. And there's a principle that I've held on to ever since. One that I've learned from someone who survived some of the most brutal crucibles a human being can endure. Environments literally designed to find the exact outer limit of what a person can take and then push past it. Most people broke. He didn't. And the reason wasn't that he was exceptional. It's that he decided at a level below conscious thought that he simply was not going to be the one who stopped. And that man was my father. Where the boundary of human endurance was supposed to be, he just moved it. Not because he had more talent, but because he literally just refused to quit. And that is the whole thing. And it points directly to what's actually holding you back, because it is not what you think. Here is what most people get wrong. They think they're stuck because of a skill problem. I just need to learn more. I need to get better first. One more course, one more certification, one more piece of gear, one more YouTube video, and then I'll be ready. No, you're not stuck because of what you don't know. You are stuck because of what you are afraid of. Fear is the real bottleneck. It's not knowledge, it's not talent, it's not the market, it is fear. Don't get me wrong, all these other things are important, but fear will be the ultimate equalizer and prevent you from doing anything. And fear is sneaky because it never shows up wearing its own name. It disguises itself as being responsible or being realistic, not going into debt because debt bad, as waiting for the right time. It gives you 100 logical sounding reasons to keep doing exactly what you've always done, which is nothing. Here's the tell, and I need you to burn this into your brain because it is the single most useful thing that I can give you. Anytime you are about to do something that could genuinely change your life and your stomach turns and you feel that resistance, that fear, that is not a stop sign. That is literally a green light, because the things that scare you are always almost the exact thing standing between you and the life that you say you want. The fear is not the obstacle. The fear is the compass. It's pointing directly at your growth. And there's a truth about fear that I learned from someone who went through an actual hell and came out on the other side. Action cures fear. You don't think your way out of fear. You don't wait for it to pass. You move, and the movement dissolves it. It may not solve every problem instantly, but it gets you through the next day, and then the next. Fear only wins when you sit still. Here's the part though that nobody wants to hear, and that is everyone thinks successful people just don't feel the fear, and that's just a blatant lie. I still feel scared most days. Before every big move I've ever made, I've been terrified. The difference between the people who make it and the people who didn't isn't the absence of fear, it's that they act anyway in spite of it. They feel the exact same terror that you feel, and they move through it because they want the outcome more than they want to avoid the discomfort. So when you tell me that you want to retire your spouse, and you want to build a team, and change your family's future, but you don't take the risk right in front of you, understand what's actually happening. You do not have a knowledge gap, you have a courage gap, and no amount of learning will ever fill a courage gap. You can watch 1,000 videos like this one, and if you don't act, you will stay exactly where you are. And the deeper issue underneath the fear is that it's the thing almost nobody's willing to admit to themselves, and I don't know why. The reason fear wins so often isn't just that the unknown is scary. It's that your current situation, as much as you complain about it, is survivable. You're getting by. Your bills are mostly paid. It's not the life you want, but it's not painful enough to force you to change. And that right there is the most dangerous position a human being can be in. Not rock bottom, comfortable enough to tolerate. Because here's a brutal law of human nature that I want you to write down right now. Pen and paper, pull it out, write this down, put a sticky note on your laptop. People don't change when they see the light. They change when they feel the heat. People do not change until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And there's a specific reason that pain never gets high enough for most people. It is the exact same reason a character in one of the greatest films ever made couldn't escape a prison that should have been impossible to escape. Let me show you what I mean, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. There's a scene in The Dark Knight Rises that gives me chills every single time I watch it. Bruce Wayne is trapped at the bottom of a pit. He's broken, he's defeated, and the only way out is to make a climb out of it that has killed almost every person who has attempted it. So he tries and he falls, and then he tries again and then he falls again, right back down into the pit over and over again. Here's the detail though that matters, because every time he climbs, he has a rope tied around him, a safety net, something to catch him if he slips. And this old prisoner, as he sits down all defeated, looks over at him and he says, "How can you beat death if you don't accept that it's even possible in the first place?" So then what does Bruce do? He removes the rope, no safety net, no backup plan, nothing to catch him if he falls, and then he makes the climb. Here's why that hits hard, okay? Here's why it's the entire reason most of you are still stuck at the bottom of your own pit. Most of you are trying to make the climb with the rope still on. You got the 9 to 5, you're holding on to just in case. You got these side gigs that keep talking just in case. The cheap clients that you refuse to let go of because you really need the money just in case. And the backup plan quietly whispering in the back of your mind that you don't really have to figure this out because there's always a plan B. You can always go back. You can always go get a job. And that rope, that safety net, is the exact reason you haven't made the climb yet. Because when failure is survivable, urgency dies. When there's something there to catch you, your brain never fully commits. And if you're sitting watching this right now going, "Oh, this is bad advice, don't listen to it, you gotta have some kind of a plan B," this is why you're stuck. This is why you're broke. It's because you refuse to do shit that terrifies you at your core, and it's you refuse to do shit that makes your stomach churn in the middle of the night. If you are not going to bed, freaking eyes open staring at the ceiling with your stomach turning and your esophagus burning, wondering what the am I gonna do? Because if this doesn't work, I have no other option. That is when great things are built. That is when you are forged into the man that you want to be. I'm gonna tell you right now, retiring your wife is the best thing you can ever do as a man. Raising your kids, taking care of other people, providing jobs, making an impact on the world is incredibly fulfilling. But there's a reason so few people do it. Because most people do not have what it takes to actually commit. If you're sitting here thinking, well, I just wanna make cool, pretty videos. I just wanna make 10K a month and I'll be totally fine. I only need this, I just need that. I don't need nice things. I don't need to make a lot of money. When I get to the end of my life and I have to stare God in the face, he's gonna introduce me to a version of myself that I could have been. Ed Milet talks about this, and I really like this story, this analogy, this concept. And one of two things is gonna happen. Either I'm gonna look at him, that version of me that could have been, the ultimate plateau of who I could become as a man, as a provider, as a father, as a husband, as a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a world changer. And I'm either gonna recognize that man and go, "Good to see you, man, we made it." Or he's not gonna recognize me one bit. Either God's going to look at me and say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You left everything on the field," or he's gonna look at me with slight disappointment. And obviously this isn't actually literally probably going to happen, but I like to think about this a lot because principally speaking, every day you need to go to bed knowing that you left everything on the field, because guess what? That's a day you're never getting back in your life, ever. It's never happening. And that shit keeps me awake at night, because each and every one of you watching this video, you are built for something great. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are built for something amazing. But that success, that outcome, and that result terrifies you. And the fear of success is what keeps you stumped. You never find that extra gear. You never make the calls that you're afraid to make. You never charge what you're actually worth. You never bet everything because you never have to. The rope feels like protection, but it's actually a prison. It is the reason you keep falling back into the pit. The amount of times that I talk to someone and I ask them the question of, why are you in this position to begin with? Why are you 35, 40, even 30 years old? And you've been doing this for years. Why are you still in the same position where you don't have money in your savings account? Your wife still has to go to work to help pay the bills. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and you will still give yourself the same excuse and say, oh, well, it's just because I had a bad month last month. Oh, I'm just still trying to get ahead of the game. Oh, I had a big expense come up. Or the reason I'm not in a much better position in life is because of this, or this. And pointing fingers instead of pointing the finger at yourself. Because the reality is, if you had the skills to be able to make a lot of money, if you acted in spite of fear, and if you did the things required, you would not be here. It is not due to external circumstances. It is due to you. And here's something that I've watched play out with every single person that I've ever seen break past a real ceiling in their life. There was a specific moment where they removed the rope, where they made the stakes real, where going back stopped being an option, not because it was smart, but because it was necessary. There's a reason they say you'll only succeed when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, because the second you remove that rope, that's exactly what the climb becomes. You're not climbing for a nicer car or a nicer view. You're not climbing for a someday maybe dream. You're climbing for air. And when a human being is fighting for air, for breath, to breathe, there is no fear, there's no hesitation, there's no distraction. There is one singular, all-consuming focus. That's the level of desire this takes. And most of you do not want success like you want air. You want it like you want a nicer car. You kind of want it as long as you can keep the rope on. So I'm gonna ask you the same question that scene in The Dark Knight asks me every single time. Where's your rope right now? What is the safety net that's letting you stay comfortable at the bottom of the pit? Because the climb is possible. I've watched it hundreds of times happen with all the people that we brought into our program. But you will not make it with the rope on. You have to remove it. You have to make the climb real. Give yourself no choice but to figure it out, because it is dangerous and terrifying what a man is capable of when he gives himself no other option. And that leads you to the one thing you have to accept before any of this actually works, and it is the hardest one of all. Here it is. Ready? Nobody's coming to save you. I know that sounds harsh, okay? But hear me out. It might be the most freeing thing that you'll ever accept. Because as long as some small part of you is waiting to be rescued, waiting for the loan, the lucky break, your parents to bail you out, the mentor who's gonna fix everything magically in your business and your life, the perfect moment that finally makes it safe, you will keep waiting and you will keep drowning. There was a moment in my lowest season where I wanted more than anything for someone to just throw me a rope, just make it stop, to bail me out. And I actually asked and I got told no. And it was the best no that I ever received. Because what I eventually understood is that if someone had thrown me that rope, it would have robbed me of the exact growth that made me who I am. The rescue would have made me weaker. Being denied the safety net is the only reason I ever found what I was capable of. So here's the principle that I want you to carry out of this video. No matter how low you get, no matter how badly it hurts, no matter how scarred up you are and driven through the shit that you are, you get up and you keep fucking moving. One step, then another, one foot after the other, because nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming to save you. And once you truly internalize that, something really powerful happens. You stop waiting. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop looking for the exit and you start fucking building. Because then you finally understand that you are the only one ever could. This is what wanting it bad enough actually means. It's not a feeling you sit around waiting to have. It is a decision, the decision to remove the rope, to want it like air, and to accept that the entire weight of your future sits on your own two shoulders and nowhere else. And that's pretty terrifying. And it's the most empowering realization a person can ever have. Because if it's all on you, then it's all up to you. And that means you were never actually stuck. You were just waiting for a rescue that was never coming. So let me tie this all together for you. You've got two choices in front of you every single day. You can keep wanting it. Keep describing the dream. Keep talking about all the great ideas that you have in your business. Keep collecting information, feeling productive, reading books, keep waiting for the fear to disappear. Keep the rope tied tight. Keep telling everyone about the future that you'll build someday. And 5 years from now, you'll be in the exact same place, having the exact same conversation, wondering why it never happened for you. That path is comfortable, and it is a slow death. Or you can decide right now that fear is a green light. It's not a stop sign. That comfort is the enemy, not the goal. That the rope keeping you safe is the exact thing holding you at the bottom of the pit, and that nobody is coming to save you, which means the only person who can is yourself. Here's what I know for certain, having lived every single side of this. You are not stuck because you lack talent. There is no monopoly on talent. Everybody's fucking talented nowadays. You're not stuck because you lack knowledge. You are stuck because you have not yet wanted it badly enough to remove the rope and sacrifice what comfort demands you give up. And the day that changes, the day that you make the climb real, with real risk, is the day everything else changes with it. Not before, not 1 second before. So stop saying that you want it. Remove the rope and start living like you can't survive without it, because that's the only version of wanting it that has ever actually worked for me or for anyone. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. We put these out pretty consistently. The mindset, the systems, and the hard truths that it actually takes to build something real and the life that you keep telling yourself that you want. If you're ready to stop talking about it and you're actually ready to remove the rope, I actually put together a completely free training that'll break down the entire system that I use and all of our students use to hit 20, 30, 40, 50K plus months in their video agency. Click the link below, watch the video. And if you're serious about scaling and removing the rope, book a call with my team and we'll build you a custom roadmap. But that only matters if you want it bad enough to click. If not, keep scrolling, keep feeling good, go watch the next YouTube video. But Ridge, it's so hard. I don't know if I can do it, blah, 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 whatever excuse you have. I will prove to you that it's possible, okay? Because if it was possible for Carson to make 30 grand in a month while working full-time at a bank, calling leads on his lunch break, and taking care of his wife and his children, you have no excuse. Go and watch this video and listen to his story, and then maybe you'll be next.